I'm Ashton Addison from BlockWest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Caleb Applegate, COO, and Bryana Kortendick, VP of Communications at Enjin. Both of you, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time to come on.
Hey, Ashton, thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. I would love to dive into the world of NFTs and Efinity, and there's so much that Enjin's been working on, but there's also a lot to catch up on as well for those who aren't familiar with the Enjin ecosystem and all of the great things that your team's working on. Maybe you guys could start by explaining a little bit about the ecosystem at a high level before we jump into the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So Enjin, we are kind of an NFT ecosystem developer. We've been around as a company since 2009, but we've been building in the blockchain space since 2017. So at a very high level, we have a full tech stack dedicated to integrating blockchain and NFTs into games and apps. So we have everything from a blockchain wallet to an NFT minting platform, Explorer, Marketplace, and scaling solutions that we're working on with Efinity, which I think we'll hit on later. But really everything that a game or app developer needs to integrate this technology and allow their players to use it without kind of issues.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks, Bryana, for that background. And yeah, there is a lot to digest because Enjin, it seems like the team is working on so many different things, especially with NFTs exploding so quickly, and it's hard to keep up to the industry. And I know I feel like Enjin was one of the first ones in NFTs. I believe the team pioneered the ERC 1155 NFT standard, if I'm not wrong. Maybe you can talk about at that time when NFTs were just emerging, getting involved then and how it's changed from until now.
Yeah, so Enjin was founded in 2009. Our co-founders, Maxim and BTech, started building a social gaming platform. It was called the Enjin Network. It still exists, but it was really a dedicated platform where gaming communities could host their websites and kind of gather together. So if you had a Minecraft server, you could host your community there. Through their work, they grew that to over 20 million users and across 250,000 gaming communities. But through those experiences, BTech, our CTO, he's really a gamer at heart, and he started to see some of the issues that those communities were experiencing as it relates to, the existing centralized technologies. So in 2017, BTech coded one of the first ever NFTs. This was pre-721, pre-1155. So that was kind of around the CryptoPunks, CryptoKitties time. And then later on, he published the ERC 1155 tokens standard. So this was really meant to solve some of the issues with usability and fees and just efficiency of ERC 721. So since then, we have kind of developed, like I said, this whole ecosystem of products based on ERC 1155. And we've grown to over 100 developers within our own ecosystem. There have been billions of blockchain assets minted, on OpenSea, on our own platform using this token standard. So it's been a pretty exciting journey, and we're really glad to be one of the first kind of contributors in the space.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And yeah, thanks for that background, bringing us closer to up to speed now. Although NFTs continue to explode, I know Enjin is working on a platform that is, I feel like, revolutionary, that I think people, especially in the gaming space, don't really know what's coming, and it's going to come quickly. Maybe we can talk a little bit about 2022 with Enjin and Efinity. What do you see as the main objectives for Enjin and solutions that you're continuing to grow and to bring into the space this year?
Yeah, I'll take that one, Ashton. So right now, 2022, we're focused on what we call our core. Our core kind of funnels into one primary product, and that's the Efinity next generation blockchain built on Polkadot. Efinity is kind of the heartbeat. It's the superhighway transacting all NFT transactions, and we like to say it's kind of the roads between all the cities that are popping up. So right now, our entire product ecosystem is live. Efinity, though, is the missing piece. We're looking at mid-March where we get our Parachain Slot But outside of being fully focused on Efinity, part of our core is our marketplace that we're launching, which is NFT.io, as well as our new wallet. And it's just a one-for-one updated version of our wallet with additional features, and a heavy emphasis on usability engineering, where we took a deep dive into what's working, what's not working, how do users use wallets and apps, and tried to create an experience that's really easy, accessible, very simple to get started with.
Amazing, Caleb. And yeah, the final missing piece, and I'm seeing this transition from, as we talk about the ERC NFT standard, which is on Ethereum. Now there's Efinity getting a Polkadot Parachain Slot, different blockchains communicating together as well as we continue to grow out. Efinity is working on getting a Parachain Slot, or how exactly does that work? And you mentioned like in March coming up, something big is going to happen for Efinity.
Yeah, great question. So we actually won a Parachain Slot in batch 2. We won the first slot. So this was a monumental task. We're really excited and grateful to have a Parachain Slot. Now that we've secured that slot, I think they'll be distributed mid-March. So we'll be able to go live with Efinity at that point. So yeah, this is how we spent our Christmas and New Year's, rallying the community and retail. So yeah, it turned out to be a huge win all the way around. So
amazing. And with NFTs and especially gaming, and you guys sort of hinted at like the gaming ecosystem and making a holistic solution where you guys have everything. A big part of gaming, I feel like, is going to be the metaverse. I know Enjin is working on a fund for the metaverse. Maybe you can just talk about Enjin's vision for the metaverse and how the team is getting involved.
Yeah, look, we announced a $100 million fund several months ago. I want to say last fall. And the whole purpose is to incubate and help projects that want to enter the blockchain space, utilize blockchain tools within our ecosystem, specifically Enjin tools. So we announced a $100 million fund that will be deployed over the next 5 years. And that fund specifically funnels into ecosystem projects. And so one of our main tasks, Bryana and myself, as well as our colleague Renee at Enjin, is to build out the ecosystem. So not only are we hiring within the ecosystem team, a newly formed team that's dedicated to these projects coming in, we're also rapidly expanding. So we're multiplying at an accelerated rate in terms of projects that are coming in. I think it's a known thing now that the metaverse is a thing, right? Last year it was about NFTs. What are NFTs? Will they be sticky? Now it's all pushing into the metaverse. And the metaverse really is all about your digital identity. So you've got a digital universe of these different worlds that are popping up, whether it's games or lifestyle brands, or even influencers that have spaces, right? You can go in and socialize at Meta. You know, you can jump over to Roblox and play their game within the metaverse. And the concept of the metaverse is really just breaking down walls. You're creating this interoperable, beautiful experience, all centered around your digital identity. So that's what we believe the metaverse is. It's something that you enter into, you experience, you engage, you interact with new communities, but it's really it's about your digital identity.
And I think that when it comes to building out that vision, that's really what Efinity is meant to do. So right now, the metaverse is fragmented. You know, NFT projects are spread across different blockchains. When we talk about true interoperability, we're not quite there yet. Yes, you might be able to take your ERC 1155 assets from game to game, like some of our own Enjin powered games have done, but making things truly interoperable means there are no walls or barriers for you to take that digital identity across all of these projects. And so we really see Efinity as the way for all of these projects to speak to one another. If you are in a virtual world on Binance Smart Chain and you want to move over to a project that's on Ethereum or Polygon, you can use Efinity to cross that bridge. It's going to support NFTs from every single blockchain. We'll be building bridges between all different projects. And that's also something the Metaverse Fund is for. We want all these projects to be integrating Efinity. We want to support dApps and games and, other entities within the space that are looking to create that, interoperable, seamless experience that we envision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great addition, Bryana, as well. And thanks for that, Caleb. I'm curious about this fund. It sounds incredible to create a $100 million fund just for the metaverse. And I feel like there's a lot to be still spoken about with Efinity and what's going to happen after it launches and what are the focuses. But in terms of that fund and metaverses, current metaverses and future metaverses as well, is Enjin planning on, there's this money is used to incubate new projects that maybe are a new metaverse or maybe just a game that connects to the metaverse, or maybe Enjin starting a partial metaverse themselves, or also having land inside of other metaverses. Maybe you can hint at, is it all of these or some of them?
Yeah. So we're creating the infrastructure. I think Bryana said it best earlier in our conversation. We're creating the full NFT stack, right? So we're the underlying infrastructure that facilitates all these NFT transactions. Again, we've got the wallet, and Enjin does have a wallet right now. We're significantly updating that wallet, and that release will be coming out here very shortly. But we've got a full marketplace that's launching. And again, Efinity, which is kind of our flagship next generation blockchain, to do exactly what Bryana just added. So that's our contribution, at least in this stage, is building that infrastructure. You can't build a house without the foundation. And while all these different projects explore entering into the metaverse or building their slice of the metaverse, once they all start interconnecting, that's where Efinity comes in a very powerful, effective way.
Yeah, I think so many different brands and businesses, and they have their different vision for what the metaverse is. Our goal, building the infrastructure, is just to make it possible for them. We realize that not everything is going to be fully open and decentralized, although we're big proponents of that. We just want every business to be able to work together and collaborate. We think there will be different slices with different companies that have their own versions, but we want to make it possible for them to work together in a seamless way. And that's really what we're trying to build.
Amazing. And thank you for that. Yeah, I think infrastructure and platform obviously are going to be necessary. And in the past, it's shown that the platforms that are able to host others are the ones that really have a long-term vision, and they succeed in the long term. The metaverse isn't an overnight thing where everyone's going to move to the metaverse. This is going to be a multi-year project, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Certainly.
Yeah. Amazing. And I have another question about the NFTs. We sort of talked about the ERC standard, Polkadot moving forward. And there has been some discussion, especially from people that aren't really in cryptocurrency, about NFTs and the carbon footprint and environmental impacts or energy efficiency. I'm curious your take, being in that industry, deep in there. Is that an issue, or if it is it something that Enjin is working on?
I think with any new technology, there's always a concern about what is our impact on the future as we're building it. And it's our job to build it responsibly. That's one of the main reasons why we've chosen to build on Polkadot. I think that a lot of the discussion around NFTs is heavily based on Ethereum's carbon footprint and impact. And so we see solutions like Polkadot, and we've also built solutions in-house. We have an EVM chain, JumpNet. It's gas-free, it's carbon negative. We offset the very, very minor carbon footprint with carbon offset credits. But Polkadot was actually I think a research report was released that it was the most efficient of all proof of stake networks, consuming just about 6.5 times the average electricity of one US household per year. So that's pretty limited if you think about what I'm consuming in my household today. So that's why we've chosen, one of the many reasons why we've chosen to build on Polkadot. It's very important to consider how we responsibly build this and the impact it will have on our world in the future. We like to say at Enjin that planet Earth is our most valuable non-fungible asset, so we need to take care of it. With Efinity, the goal is to really allow all of these NFTs on different chains and blockchain projects to reap the benefits of Polkadot's efficiency in terms of cost and carbon efficiency, energy efficiency. So anyone who wants to utilize Efinity will be able to bridge their assets over and transact there. And then that would minimize, if you are an Ethereum project, that will certainly minimize your impact when it comes to energy consumption.
Very cool. I like that. And I like the analogy to the earth, Bryana. That's really awesome. So now, leading up to Efinity, the launch of the Parachain, now that it's been won, what are the next steps for the community and the people that want to get involved in Enjin and in Efinity? Is there any way that they can come and help or just learn more about the community and get ready for the launch?
Yeah, absolutely. So something that we've been focused on heavily, Caleb and I, on the ecosystem side, is really opening up our ecosystem. In the past, we've had kind of an application-based adopter program. We want to open that up and invite any project to get involved. So we have a developer-focused Discord that we've just launched, and we would invite any projects who are looking to build on Efinity to join us there. We will be beginning to onboard projects in beta to Efinity towards the end of Q1 or very beginning of Q2. And our earliest adopters, those 100 game developers that I mentioned earlier, they'll be among the first to utilize that, along with some other AAA studios that we're working with. So we want to grow this community. We want people to be actively involved. So we would invite anyone who is interested in maybe dabbling with NFTs, or they already are and they're looking for a better solution, to join our ecosystem community and start a conversation with us.
Yeah, I just want to add as well, Ashton, that we're going to be launching a podcast to highlight projects specifically using Enjin technology. So we've actually recorded a few of them already. We drop our first one this week. It's called the Enjin Room, and it's hosted by me. And it's been a ton of fun just getting to know these founders and what they're working on, what they're passionate about, and why they decided to get started using blockchain tools, and specifically Enjin as their solution. Yeah.
Very cool. A lot to look forward to. Thank you, Bryana, for that community update. I'm going to leave the links for developers or projects or just people interested in following along with Efinity in the description box below. And as well, Caleb, that sounds great about the podcast. I will leave the Enjin Room link for the podcast in the description box below as well. I'm glad you're joining the podcast club. It is a lot of fun talking to founders and just seeing these amazing projects. Like Efinity's working on some amazing initiatives right now. So thank you both for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. All the best with the upcoming launch of Efinity, and let's follow up in the near future.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Ashton.